So it's September 2021 and it's the middle of the pandemic lockdowns. And I'm here supposed to be going to my online class. And what am I doing? I'm playing Valorant in the backgrounds. Especially during the pandemic, I would play every single day. It would kind of be a bit of a grind. I would really enjoy it. It was my social connection. That was where I spoke to people. I spoke to people on Discord because I haven't seen my friend in months. But looking back, the reason why I spent all day playing Valorant was because I wasn't fulfilling my core desires in a more healthy, better way. I was playing video games every single day, all until I started this idea of going to the gym and building muscle. That became my game where I leveled up in real life. That was how I went from this kind of skinny Asian kid to jacked as fuck in a couple of years. So what do I mean by core desires, right? What do I mean by that? Core desires are a lot of things that humans fundamentally need, right? For example, humans need water, humans need food, right? But also, there are also some things that humans want, right? That make humans feel good. So for example, you need friends. Like, psychologically, you need friends. That's the truth of the matter, right? But the unfortunate thing is that some people, they don't go outside enough, and so they don't have friends in real life. And so how do they create friendships? They end up making friends online. They end up speaking to their friends all the time online, right? So we can think of a couple of core desires or a couple of things that really draw in human beings. So maybe there's this idea of status, of fun and adventure, of brotherhood, of progress, right? If you have this kind of desire that's missing in your life, then you might make up for it with playing video games, for example. So, you don't go outside enough, you don't have enough adventure in your life, so you play, let's say, Minecraft, right? You play Zelda, right? Let's say that you don't have too much status in real life. Let's say you're like a nerd and you haven't really achieved much, you feel like you're a bit of a loser, right? So if you want some status, then maybe you might grind in a game, right? And so, you reach platinum in League of Legends and everyone's like, oh, wow, that's so cool. You're radiant and wow, that's so cool. And, that's cool in the gaming community, but in real life, nobody cares, right? You end up fulfilling all these desires through video games, right? And that's part of the reason why you might be drawn to a particular game, right? For example, I don't know, you like progressing, you like building stuff, you like creating stuff, and so maybe you like to play a creative game, right? Or maybe you want to see progress, you like seeing the number go up. And so maybe you play grinding games I don't know, whatever, Genshin Impact or something like that, right? Where you like to grind and see the number go up for hours and hours and hours on end. But the core idea about this is that these things are missing from your life, and so you must substitute them with video games, with a worse version of it that doesn't really give you good results, right? So instead of creating status and grinding up and achieving something in real life, you do it in a video game. Instead of having adventure in real life and exploring the world, you start to do it in Minecraft, right? Instead of having strong relationships and instead of seeing your friends outside in real life, you see them on Discord, you speak to them on Discord. And that atrophies your ability to, let's say, communicate so well in real life, right? So it atrophies some area of your life and it doesn't achieve you as much in real life because you end up spending all your time grinding in video games. So we can fulfill a lot of these desires in a more healthy way. And eventually we won't feel such a desire to actually play video games, right? If you have a lot of adventure outside, if you start to walk around your neighborhood and start to explore the world, then you won't feel such a need to explore in Minecraft, right? And it makes sense, right? It makes sense. So we can fulfill it in a much better way, which will actually produce real results. So instead of you grinding in Genshin Impact for hours and hours and staying up until 2 a.m. and then ruining your sleep and then basically ruining your posture by doing this all day, right? You could do that, but you could grind, let's say, in the gym. You could grind in the gym and you can see progress in that. And you can see real life progress that will actually change your life, that will actually make you confident, that will actually make you more attractive. Everything you actually wanted as well, externalities, all the externalities that you actually wanted as well. That was the way that I stopped playing video games, really. And that was because, I wanted this idea of progress, right? I really wanted some progress in my life. I wanted some status in my life, right? Let's be real, right? I wanted to look good. I wanted to be more attractive. I wanted girls to notice me or something like that, right? And I used that desire, instead of using the desire for progress and status and to try and show off to video gamer friends, I used that status and that desire to go to the gym. And because of that, I get better rewards. I get better real life rewards, right? The thing is, if you're able to grind really hard and work really hard in video games, that doesn't mean that, you're a loser. It just means that you have your energy directed in the wrong way. You have your energy that's been hijacked and been used by video game developers, and it's been taken hostage by video game developers, right? And it's been put into the wrong direction, really, versus this one, which will actually give you rewards, right? It'll produce you actual rewards, right? Things like money, status, looking good, looking better, right? Addiction and grind in a healthier way on better ways in real life. I think that lifting and going to the gym is perfect for this, for you, right? You might have this belief, maybe you might think that, oh yeah, I'm a skinny, I'm like this kind of guy, right? I'm like this kind of guy, right? Maybe, maybe you're this kind of guy, you're like the skinny Asian kid, look at that skinny Asian kid, and you're like, you've seen the Hollywood movies, and, you've settled into this kind of nerd archetype, right? But really, I think you're perfect for going to the gym, because we can use that brain and that optimization kind of brain, the kind of brain that optimizes the perfect strategy for the strategy games, for like Civilization, for example, like I used to play, the kind of brain that really likes to solve puzzles, that likes to play video games, that really likes to get addicted to those, that likes to grind. Use that kind of brain and use that kind of energy. Use that kind of energy and put it into lifting, right? Put it into strategizing for your lifts and seeing the progress and leveling up in real life, right? There are all sorts of things that you can do. There's like stuff like, there's stuff like tracking your macros, right? Macros, right? And there's stuff like tracking your weights, right? And seeing that kind of thing, which is progress, right? Seeing the progress, that is when it starts to get addictive. That is when it starts to become so much more fun. Because I think one of the core motivators for human beings is progress, right? It is progress, because if you feel like you're stuck in real life, then you might end up seeking progress in other areas, right? Whether it be finding new areas, having adventure, having fun, or seeing progress in grinding and leveling up. And so if you feel stuck, you might get drawn towards video games and you grind towards those, right? But I think gym is perfect for the kind of guys like us, right? Because we love progress so much. But, and then, we also like to optimize for progress and that kind of stuff. And so we love progress so much, and we could use it to a more effective, efficient way, and use that kind of optimizing brain for something that will actually help us, actually will change your life, right? I think fundamentally part of it comes down into thinking about being a multi-dimensional person. I want you to become a multi-dimensional person. I want you to have some even out stats, right? Instead of thinking you're like 10 out of 10 here, let's say you're 10 out of 10 in like money, right? But your body is like shit, right? Your body is shit, right? That would kind of suck. And if you have all the money in the world, but you're insecure about your body, you're not confident in yourself, then really what do you have, right? So, a better way would probably be to have more reasonable stats, right? Have reasonable stats across the board, right? And do well in a lot of other areas. So you become multi-dimensional. You have different things that you're good at, especially, like, let's say like a lot of nerdy guys, like, let's say a lot of us guys, like, I'm an engineering student as well, right? Look at me, right? Eventually you're probably going to be quite successful in your career, so, your money will be pretty good. But also, you want your body to be good as well. You want to look good. You want to be attractive. You don't want to be a fat guy who just sits at the office all day and does nothing and, eats cereal in the morning. And you don't want to be like that kind of person, right? You want, I mean, this is my ideal, right? I want to be at least pretty good in most areas of my life, right? And at least the most important ones, your body and your health. In this one, right? Like, say your body and your health, but also your money as well. I'd rather have like mediocre stats in both than, let's say, 10 out of 10 money and 0 out of 10 like health, basically. Gym completely replaced video games because I finally created this sense of progress. I finally created purpose outside of my boring ass life, right? I finally found something interesting to do that I could level up and that I could grind in real life, and then I enjoy the rewards of that kind of success, the rewards of that kind of hard work, of the delayed gratification that I've created. So if you're addicted to video games, I think your brain is honestly pretty good. Your brain is probably pretty good, that you've worked hard, you can focus to something, you're dedicated to something. But I think you're just using that dedication in the wrong way. You're using that dedication in a way that's not beneficial to you. You can use this to create real progress in your real life. You can start right now to level up in real life today. Thank you for watching. If you're this kind of skinny Asian guy that I'm imagining and you want even more help, have a look at the top link in the description below. Thank you. See you. Bye-bye.